Hey, I thought today I would go over how I've been farming points in CS mode on DBCS. I don't know if any of you bought this, but it was just on sale, I think like last week. Actually, it'll probably be a week and a half by the time you see this. It was on sale for I think 20 bucks, like $24 on PS4, and then I think it was under 20 on Vita if you had PS Plus. So I thought now would be a good time to do a guide for this, since I'm sure at least maybe one or two of you bought this game after seeing me play it and you saw it on sale. It doesn't go on sale that often. I think that's one of the reasons why it hasn't done so well. The base price is very high. It's like 60 bucks on at least on console. I think it's 50 on PC, and it's $40 on Vita base price. So the Vita version is actually the cheapest one to get without having to wait for a sale. But I enjoy it. I know a lot of people have said that it's repetitive. It definitely is, but I think in a portable setting, it's fine. You know, and I go on the bus. You know, if I'm on the bus for like 20 minutes, I can finish like 3 or 4 levels, and then put it in sleep mode and go home. Or, I can play it when I'm watching a Twitch stream or I'm uploading or something like that. I like the portable aspect of it, but I can see how it would definitely get repetitive if you're playing at home. It is it's kind of like a roguelike in the sense that it seems like there's a lot of level chunks. You remember 20XX when I was still playing that game a lot. Like that game is basically the levels are composed of just small little chunks of levels, and they get arranged randomly in ways with an algorithm that makes it so that you can't get stuck. There's not like a platform that you can't jump to or anything like that. That's kind of how it works here. The different levels are basically just arrangements of those existing pieces. At least from what I've seen, I don't think they've really said anything about how it works. But I enjoy it. If you want to get it on PC, by the time you see this, there should be a Steam sale. They'll probably have it on sale for like, I think, half off, so 25 bucks. The PC version, in general, is probably the best one if you don't have Sony consoles or you don't have both Sony consoles, because you can use a dual monitor setup for the arcade mode. But I tested out the arcade mode on the PS4. I just got that off the holiday sale a few weeks ago, and it's fine. It might not be ideal if you're like all the way on the other end of the room. If you game in like the living room of your house or something, and you're like 20 feet away from your TV, then it might not be ideal. But if you have like a personal gaming area like in your room or something, it's not bad at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to show one of the ways I found to farm. Now, what determines how many points you get is obviously your score. Your score is divided, I think you get 10% of your score, and that becomes your points that you get afterwards. One of the things that determines how many points you get is how many bosses you beat. And on this one, there's like 7 bosses. So the bosses that it actually gives you are actually pretty easy too. So you can offset how much you spend on your ship. You will want to have at least one ship that you've purchased. Some people say to go for the Murakumo. Where is it? I'm not sure why it's not here. Hold on. Yeah, it's weird. It's just like randomly not here. But some people say to go for the Murakumo. The guidance is actually pretty nice because you get the black hole bomb, which will erase most bullets off the screen. On some levels, you'll get a burst auto charge, which means that you can use it more often. Now, when you buy a ship, I actually didn't even know this was a mechanic because I had just been using the presets. The presets are basically a hard mode. Like actually buying a ship and being able to power it up is like, I don't know if it's the intended way to go through the game, but if you don't intend on being stuck on the same level for really long periods of time, this is the best way to do it. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to give yourself a bunch of armor, and you'll get at least on this level you'll get a bunch of drops that will give you more armor along the way. But you want a lot just in general. In this game, when you lose a ship, you start with only 3 armor, so you can only get hit 4 times. And in this game, there's no invincibility frames or anything when you get hit. If you get hit by a laser or something, then you'll pretty much die instantly. So the idea is to just make it so that you don't ever lose a life at all. And if you do, it'll be towards like the tail end of the level, and you might be able to pull through. Even then, if you don't, you'll still get more than enough points to offset what you're spending here. Like right now, I'm spending 90,000 points, and I should get around 200,000 afterwards, maybe more. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but it's more than enough that you'll still be making a profit. You can decrease or increase how much armor you buy depending on how confident you are in your abilities. Towards the end, it does get a little rough. I don't remember who the last boss is, but it does get kind of difficult, so you might want to have more armor than you're confident with. So go ahead and start. So if you have trouble with this game, it's not really your personal ability. I mean, obviously you do need quite a bit of shmup experience to play this, but once you're able to buy a ship and you can buy the buffs, the game is much more accessible. Like, some of the presets have like really ridiculous requirements, like they start you off with... Let me turn down the sound a little bit. Like, some of the requirements they have for the presets or the conditions are like ridiculous. Like, you'll start with like, no, you can't get hit more than like once or twice, and you have base weapons and stuff like that, and you're supposed to build it up. You can basically just bypass all that. It only takes 6,000 points to max out your weapon, so that should be something that you always do as well. You can pretty much just bypass having to power up your weapon. The bosses do have a lot of health in this game, so it is nice to have a little bit of a buffer against that. So you will want to get as many kills as you can, get as many points in general, because that will determine how many points you get. But as long as you get towards the end, even if you manage to lose, you will pretty much get all your points back, and you will get a profit. Even better, if you're one of the few people playing this on Vita, you can do one of these runs when you're on the bus or something. So you fight a lot of these bosses, which are some of the easiest bosses in the game. Get some no damage bonuses, you get a pretty decent score bonus for that too, so that will help as well. But by no means required. If you can get at least one, that'll give you a pretty nice bonus. I just got 3 million points for that. And you'll also get a nice bonus. You get a Silver Hawk bonus. The Silver Hawk bonus is basically, it gives you points for how many remaining ships you have. And since using this method, you'll be buying so many armor points, pretty much guaranteed to have the full Silver Hawk bonus at the end, which will give you even more points. somehow. It seems to have more health than the other ones do. This does take a while, so I think it took me like maybe 15-20 minutes to go through it. I'll have to time it once this video is done. It does take a while, so it's definitely not something you start when you're in a hurry. Like I said, one of the many advantages of the Vita version is you can do this when you're not at home and you can put it in sleep. I've already got like 50,000 points just from 2 zones, and there's 7 zones. Even if you have all the ships unlocked, it can be nice to do this once because it will give you enough points to power yourself up for really difficult levels in the future. Because on some of the shorter missions, or the shorter levels, you won't make enough points back to get a profit. You'll actually be in a point deficit. You can use this to offset that. Since you have your weapon powered up, you won't have to use a black hole bomb that often. So again, you don't have to put as many points into your buffs as I did, but if you want a security buffer, it actually is nice, and since you'll get the Silver Hawk bonus, that should cover any deficit you have for the most part. There's another no damage bonus. I can't imagine going for a score on this. Every CS mode level has a leaderboard, as far as I know. I can't imagine going for them. I imagine at the highest level, if you get hit even once on some of these longer levels like this one, your run's pretty much over. Definitely not for me. Probably some people out there hardcore enough to do that. I'd probably be more open to doing that if I wasn't primarily playing the Vita version. Most of the time when I'm using the Vita version, I don't have access to the internet. I'm not sure if it invalidates your score if you're not online. I don't know if it like actually updates once you check in on the internet again or not. It's actually a good question. bonus. Probably use my black hole bomb there. One thing a lot of people have asked, aside from a training mode, is more DLC bosses. This game's a lot like a hunting game, in that you have like the base form of a boss, and then there's several variants. Like this is a variant that shoots those red little homing line bullets. And I think that's part of the reason why the game gets a little repetitive if you play it in very long sessions, because you fight a lot of the same boss many times. From what I understand, they have I guess, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I know that they were in the credits for the original version of the game, but they moved the development over to another team. So I don't know exactly what that means, but I assume that means that there's going to be more content. Maybe they're trying to turn this into like a games as a service kind of stuff. Like Street Fighter, all the big MOBAs and stuff like that. I know that they have the Aiding DLC supposed to be out sometime in the future. Cave DLC, you've seen me play a lot of that. We don't know what their plans are after that. It'd be cool to see them do even more Cave DLC. It's kind of a bummer that they don't have any Escalade 2 ships in this. I think the slowdown mechanic would be really fun. I'd also like to see the DLC ships to be playable in CS mode. It's kind of a bummer that they're stuck in the DLC mode for no real reason. Can't see it being too difficult to implement that, but maybe they have some kind of reason for it. It would increase their value even more. We're already looking at 116,000 points, I think. I'm gonna try to get the trophy here really quick. Kind of see my biggest complaint with this game is how much freaking health some of these bosses have. feels a little artificial sometimes. Like, they'll put a boss with 1,000,000,000 HP at the end of a really long stretch of levels like this. And by that point, unless you buff yourself up ridiculously like I did here, it can be a battle of attrition to take them down, especially since you'll have so few resources. Kind of wish that they would lower the boss health a little bit. People have had a lot of requests for this game, and hardly any of them have been answered. I'm not sure exactly if they're taking feedback or not. Training mode is something a lot of the hardcore players and casual players asked for that hasn't happened. There are some really difficult bosses in this game, and you don't really have an easy means of fighting most of them without going through a really long stretch of levels. So if you can keep your multiplier up, you'll see a higher profit from this, which isn't too hard, at least with this setup that I'm using. Like I said, this is not like a definitive setup or anything. This is just what I stumbled upon while I was playing last night. Yeah, at the time of recording, the Caves DLC is still not on the PlayStation Store for PS4. So I haven't really been playing my console version, I've just been playing this. Rare footage of the beta version struggling. Not sure why it struggles with this, but it does not like shooting the laser weapon at those enemies. Here's my least favorite thing in any shmup, collision obstacles. You might lose quite a bit of health here, but if you go in with the setup that I have, you should still be okay. We'll get some health back. This is the one reason why I don't want to take Dodonpachi Daifukatsu seriously, because the last level of that just goes overboard with the collision obstacles. You've got that, and you've got all the standard non-Maku bullet hell at the same time. I'm really not a fan of it at all. I know in a range A, you can actually destroy those little pod things. But the range A is still not working properly on the Steam port. least in this game, the collision obstacles they're pretty infrequent. Might not get as many points as last time. See how much health he's got. I'm not sure why they made the enemies so HP spongy. Yeah, it's pretty annoying. You're seeing how much punishment he's taking. He's not anywhere near dead. Come on. Seriously, they cut this guy's health in half. It would still take forever. I don't know why they have such difficult bosses that just have huge amounts of health for no real reason. That's why you stock up on health. It's mostly just for that last level. All the collision obstacles, and then Violent Ruler has like way more health than he needs. That will basically give you a buffer. So as you can see, I got 205,000 points. So that's over 100,000 profit. Actually, about 150,000. It's not too difficult, a little time consuming, but you will get almost pretty much over double the points that you put into it. Like last time, you can see my high score there. That would equal about 231,000 points, which would be even more. But yeah, that's how you farm points pretty easily. If you want to see how far this is into the unlock path, this is the start of it right here. So you would go up, then to the right, and then this one here, Karu. You'll see it says 14 sections. This is the one that you go to farm. Anyway, I hope that helps new Darius Burst Chronicle Saviors owners. I'll probably take a break from this game for a little while and do some Knights of Valor or something instead, since I've been playing this too much. More variety.